2 months and the year 2024 will be over, and it's now time to evaluate. What was the year like for you? Did it go the way you wanted to? Did you achieve the goals you actually set at New Year? So for me, and without getting into much detail, this year has actually been one of the hardest in my whole life so far, and it absolutely went 0% like I imagined it. But you know what? That's life, and I can't change anything about it. But what I can change is the upcoming 2 months, and I'm a big believer in the Latin phrase amor fati. I want to 100% focus on the upcoming 2 months that this year still has, and make them the absolutely best months that I could imagine. So that is why in this video I want to show you my complete step-by-step blueprint that I use, that you can just copy like that to transform your life to the better in 2024. Turn this year completely over and head into January 1st as the best version of yourself ever. First of all, forget about the idea that the year is almost over, because there are 2 full months still left. That's more than 8 weeks, 61 days, and you can accomplish so many great things in this period of time if you use your time correctly and focus on the right things. So what I want you to do right now, take a look at this graphic right here and look at it for some 30 seconds or so. So I will show it on screen. You can pause the video right here. So in this graphic you can see several areas of life like recreation, family, work, etc. And I want you to give yourself a rating how your life is in general and how especially in this year your life has been going in these several areas. Please take a minute and really thoroughly think about how your life has been going so far this year. And when you're done, it should somehow look like this, for example. There will probably, if you, for example, clicked on this video and want to really turn something in your life around, 1 or 2 areas in this graphic that need quite a bit of adjustment, that you're really not satisfied with. And there's this great book I once read called The One Thing. And the basic gist of this book is that there are certain areas in your work, in your studies, in your life, that will yield a far greater reward if you would tackle them first instead of others. So when you take a look at the graphic you just filled out, and instead of just improving in every area like for 5 or 10% in this graphic, you should think about the 1 or maximum 2 areas where you really feel like, honestly, your life sucks. Which area really needs to be improved. And this could also be something else that is not on this list. You can just feel free to adjust it. And if you want to really make the best out of 2024, then I urge you to tackle this goal this year in the 2 months ahead. Really imagine what really would make you satisfied and happy in this regard, in this field, and what you could do about it. Really visualize what your dream life in this field would look like. And it really could be everything like saving and investing, getting a new job, finding a partner, or running a marathon. It's really up to you, and you know it the best. But now I want you to forget about all of that we just did, that we just talked about, and put all of this away. Because listen, the reason why most New Year's resolutions fail is because at the end of each year we set up those huge goals that we have, those ideals, what we visualize our dream lifestyles to be like, and what most people only do is that they think about the goals they have, about which goals they want to pursue, but that is it. And they forget about all the groundwork that actually has to be done first. They think about the interior design or the roof of their house before they actually lay the foundation for a stable house to actually stand on. If you really are serious about really using and making the best out of 2024 in those 2 months, those 61 days you actually have, you have to do the unsexy things. You have to do the groundwork, the little minor things that actually will propel you forward and actually lay a solid foundation first before you can tackle those goals. So, and what I'm about to show you is something that I came up with when I was reading about psychology and about the, I think it's Maslow, the hierarchy of needs. And it's basically something that describes what each human actually strives toward, what the basic human needs are in order to achieve satisfaction and happiness in life. And it's this relatively old concept that each human first wants to actually lay the foundation with basic needs like food, shelter, health, etc. Then there comes the relationships, then there comes self-actualization and the dreams that I actually have. And the version that I created that's adapted from this is I just call it the winner arc pyramid, and it basically looks like this. And we want to start at the foundation, and there's one thing that you cannot do anything without, that all your goals are actually worth nothing without. And this is a thing that each successful person in the world will tell you, that it's the most important thing that they should have worked way earlier on, and it is your health. Because if you're not healthy, then all of this isn't worth anything. If you're not healthy, then money is worthless, goals are like useless, and the only focus you will then have, and many millionaires that actually worked so hard that they destroyed their health will actually say that they regret it, because now the only thing they actually want in life is health, but they cannot buy it. So think about, you want to really set, as I said, the solid foundation that actually supports you in achieving your goals. And if you feel like shit all the time, and if you feel like you're just about to get sick all the time, if you feel achy all the time, then you cannot build any system and any goals on top of that. So number one you actually want to do is, so as I said, the first thing you actually want to work on before you actually think about all the goals you set for yourself earlier is your health. And there are several aspects of your health that I will now step by step actually tell you, and you can just evaluate and think about how you're doing in this field, whether you're doing okay, whether you're doing well, etc. And please be really honest to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, and if you see that you need to take action, do that. So, and the first thing to actually get your health all right in this year is destructive behavior. If you're smoking, any amount of tobacco is a no-go and will actually kill you in the near or far future. If you're drinking too much at the moment, please really cut that down if you want to do yourself a favor and your health a favor. If you're watching this and you're most likely an adult and you don't need some random guy in a car telling you about your drug consumption, I just want to suggest that you develop a sustainable relationship with drugs, and I would wish you the best health and that you're feeling really optimally. So regarding alcohol, this means if you're binge drinking a lot, you really want to cut that down and keep it at maybe 1 or 2 drinks a week maximum. Abstinence is of course better, but you got to decide for yourself. And if you're taking other drugs, for example, like weed, to have a relationship with it that actually fits your lifestyle, that doesn't hinder you from living your life normally. And that is a level of consumption where you can say, I think this is healthy, I think this won't harm me, but enough of that. But as I said, you have to decide for yourself. So, and now we come to the second most important pillar, and that is sleep. If you don't sleep enough, then everything in your day will actually feel like shit. When you're sleeping, you're not just laying around dead, but it's the time when your body recovers, when your brain recovers and actually throws out all the garbage that accumulated in your brain during the day and processes all the information that you actually gathered through the day to make sense out of it at night. And it is a vital part of actually being healthy and feeling healthy. And I made an own video about that, which you can probably watch here. And you really want to perfect your sleep in this regard. And this is something you can do really easily within a week. And the basics are really easy. Try to sleep 7 to 9 hours a day in a dark, cool and calm environment where you're not woken up all the time, and also try to cut down on caffeine and alcohol before bed because this will destroy your sleep. And with these tips, you're already really good to go. So, and number 3 is movement. And this is really highly individual. And the best advice I can give you here is to really look where you're starting from and then improve on that. That means if you're going to the gym like me, for example, and you feel like, oh, I've been slacking a lot recently and I've been like, my sessions really weren't that great recently, then you might want to improve on that. But if you're not doing anything at the current moment, then don't take too much on your shoulders. Start from where you are. If you're doing no exercise whatsoever at the moment, you can just, for example, start by maybe not first including exercise, but by changing things about your lifestyle in a way that actually promote your health. That means taking more steps. 10,000 steps a day is a great idea. Taking the steps instead of an elevator or so. If it's possible, walking or cycling instead of driving to places where you want to go. And also make sure to not sit for prolonged periods of time, more than 1 hour, for example. I made another video about this, which you can watch right here, where I tell you how you can actually get fit without exercise. But if you're already, as I said, doing exercise at the moment, and maybe are not that content with it at the moment, if you're maybe, for example, starting out from a position where you only do cardio, to include strength training, and if you're only going to the gym and don't have any cardio in your regimen, then maybe it's a good idea to include 1 or 2 sessions of cycling, of running a week, which really would elevate your routine to another level. And the next pillar is actually really simple, and it's your diet. And I would just suggest for the 2 months, don't go on any crazy crash diet or things like that. Just make sure to eat in a healthy way, in an 80-20 way, to eat 80% non-processed healthy food. And it's not that big of a deal if 2 in 10 meals, for example, is something processed or fast food, for example. Just make sure that the majority of your food is not processed, that you cook most of your meals yourself and not eat takeout that often. And again, I made a video right here which you can watch about how you can actually eat healthier in a really simple way. And the last one, and this is really important, it's your mental health. Don't forget about your mental health. This is nothing to be ashamed of. This is nothing that you have to hide. This comes on several levels. So if you're really in a really effed up position right now, you feel totally stressed, you feel depressed, you feel anxious, whatever it might be, then I say it straight away. The the best thing that you can do in these 2 months in this year is to actually seek professional help if you don't have any yet. Because serious mental health problems is something that you shouldn't hide, that you shouldn't be ashamed of, but it's something that needs to be tackled by professionals. If it's possible for you around you, talk to a doctor, maybe talk to a psychotherapist. If this is not that easily possible for you, and maybe you have the means to spend it, this is of course not sponsored. There's sites like BetterHelp, for example, where you gotta pay for it, of course, but you can, I think, really instantly talk to a professional. And I really urge you, if this is something that you're struggling with, then take it serious, and this will benefit your health so immensely much, and you and the ones around you. And if your mental health situation is not that serious, but it's not quite where it actually should be, so great ways to actually improve it is to actually start with mindfulness, to start with meditation, for example. Really take stressors out of your life, take toxic people out of your life if this is possible. If you have toxic friends, cut them out. Easier said than done, of course, but we have 2 months left, so make the best out of it. And of course, there are plenty of online resources about that. There are many great channels on mental health on YouTube, like this one, and I really urge you to check it out if this is something that's interesting for you. So we covered the most important foundation points of 2024, and now we go to the next level. This is something that I actually that I thought about when I was again reading something else about psychology, and it's the prospect theory by Daniel Kahneman. And this is this graph here that is really not that great, but what it basically says is that economic psychologists found out that every bad scenario in your life weighs twice as heavy as any given good scenario in your life. If you lose $10, for example, then it hurts you twice as much as gaining $10 would actually make you happy. And with all of that being said, I want you to now really think about how you could really, and this is the next foundation of the pyramid right here, get your shit together. This is really the second most important pillar on this pyramid right here. That we have to cut out all the areas that we identify that actually don't go right. Where we really feel like this is holding us back, this is making us feeling miserable, this is really hindering us from living the life we actually want to. And I want to here look at things that are within your control, that you can actually control and where you can do something about it. And this is again really personal. And maybe take 1 minute, pause the video and list out all the things that you feel like are not going right in your life, that you really dislike about your life and your situation. And there has to be something, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on this video. Common candidates are procrastination, spending too much of our free time on those stupid devices and consuming content all the time, not doing what we actually want to do. It could be toxic people around you. It could be that you want to lose weight. So something that really was holding me back, for example, is that I noticed that I had a spending problem. This was really new for me, but for the past couple of 3 months or so, I really looked into my bank account and saw that, man, most of the money I made, all of it was gone for like stupid shit all the time. And I thought, why the hell am I spending so much on things that are not important? So this was definitely something that was holding me back. So, and without changing anything about your lifestyle, if you're healthy, and then eliminate all the things that really make you unhappy, then you will automatically feel so much better because your baseline happiness has just been elevated like that. And now basically everything you do on top of that is like a bonus. If we cut out all the shit prior to that, actually build daily routines, build a daily lifestyle that is actually awesome. So I wrote like this little heart here. It's really, you should try to really build a lifestyle that you really love. That's something, a lifestyle that really propels you forward, that really enables you with energy, something that you can look forward to, something that makes you stronger, something that makes you improve. You want to really think about how your everyday, day-to-day life could actually really be elevated. For some of you, this could, for example, mean waking up in a really early time to really get a head start of the day. It could mean to read more books. It could mean to go for more walks, for example, spend more time with others, be more social. And what it basically boils down to is to develop positive habits, positive routines in your life that really mean something to you, that are important to you, and that really get you ahead and are a positive force in your life. You gotta really think about it. We didn't even talk about the goals actually that most people just set at New Year, for example, because we now covered the bases, we try to be healthy, we cut out the negative shit in our lives that actually draw us back and make us feel bad. Now our baseline is elevated and now we actually implement even better habits that actually make our day-to-day life better and make us more happy. For me, for example, this means right now now, I think I make a video about this as well, is to wake up way earlier to really have a head start in the day, to have a calm start into the day where I really can be productive. Again, highly personal, depends on you. Think about it. Take a minute, pause the video, think about all the things that can make your day-to-day life actually better. Okay, now we are on the top, and the next thing in our list is actually our goals that we actually set. And now I want to really urge you to take a look at the list that we actually made earlier in the beginning of the video with the chart where we evaluated all the areas of our life, and then take the 1 or 2 areas in your life that you really feel like you're lacking in. Thoroughly think about how you could improve in that field, what it would really mean to excel in that field, to be happy in that field, and now make smart plans and be concrete about how we could actually improve in this field. Problem here is that many people would go about this like, yeah, I would kind of like to save more and eat somehow healthier and move more and make somehow more money. But all of these goals are not concrete. And there's the saying, what gets measured gets done for a reason. Because if there's a concrete plan that actually makes us accountable, then we are far more likely to actually succeed in the goals we've set. So, and a great way to actually accomplish this, and I think I included this in the PDF file I made for the video as well, is to actually set SMART goals. And SMART, this is an acronym in business or in productivity management, for example, where it says you want to really have a specific goal, you want to have a measurable goal, you want to have an achievable goal, a relevant goal, and a time-bound goal. And in a nutshell, that means if you're setting a goal for this year, for the next 2 months, then you want to really be specific about it. What is it that you want to accomplish and what is it not? You want to be able to measure it. That means you want to somehow keep track of the time you invest in the thing that you do, money you save, keep track of the hours you spend exercising, keep track of the hours, for example, that you try to start a YouTube channel, for example. And it's really important here to set goals that are within your control. Because bad goal, for example, would be, I want to become a huge YouTuber by the end of 24. This is not really a good goal because this is out of your control. The outcome does not depend on you, but rather on chance and luck. Better goal would be, I want to become a YouTuber, so I spend about 3 hours every day to work on my YouTube channel. Now you really have a measurable goal that you really know that brings you forward. And then also make it time bound. That means don't say like, yes, I would like to somehow spend 3 hours working my YouTube channel. But if it's possible for you, block out the time in advance in your calendar, in your schedule, for example. It doesn't matter what the goal is, be specific about it. When you do it, how you do it, where you do it. And this way you're really guaranteed to make some meaningful change this year. But wait, we forgot something. There's just a little bit of space here. Actually, this is the last one in this pyramid, and these are the highlight moments of the year. I drew this little star because the last point, the last really important step on this pyramid for a successful winner arc, so to speak, is the highlight moments. Because what is life worth without the important moments in life? Think about the next year. If you achieved all of your goals for next year, if you have only positive habits next year, if you cut out on all the toxic shit that holds you back next year and have great health next year, what would you actually do then with your free time besides that? For most people, this would actually mean to do something meaningful, something that is fun, that's enjoyable, that something with a purpose, for example. And then instead of just planning for the next year, I want you to be really creative with this. And now just take like 15 to 20% of this and actually try to fit it in this year. Because what makes a great 2024 is to not postpone everything to the next year. Not only do most people think that, yeah, the year's almost over, I can't actually achieve much this year, but they also think like, yeah, the year's basically over, let's plan the good things for next year. If there's, for example, a really cool trip that you want to take, maybe you have some free time around the holidays, maybe on a weekend, maybe on a day after work. If there's some cool things you want to try out with others, with your friends, with your family, for example, if there's some cool new hobbies that you want to try out, if there's some places you wanted to go, if there's some, whatever it might be, don't fall for the trap to postpone everything into next year, but try to fit at least some of it into this year. Because many people often tend to believe the fallacy that because oftentimes it's really reasonable to actually postpone things, get the reward later, do the work now, enjoy later. There's this famous marshmallow experiment where they tested kids and waited how long they could actually try to hold on to the urge to eat the marshmallow, and this really much predicted how successful they would be in life. Life is also really meant to be lived, in my opinion, and a great majority of a well-lived life for me means to actually pursue the goals you have, to live the life that you want and not be held back by negativity and so on. But it's also to enjoy the little moments, to have fun, to spend time with others. You decide whether, for example, this bottle is half full or half empty. Okay, in this scenario, it's like more than half full, but a really thirsty person would really find a way to fill the bottle up to the very most top. And exactly the same goes for this year. If you want to make the most of your time, then I urge you to be mindful with your time, to spend it in the best way possible, to go after your dreams, to go after your goals, and not to postpone your life to the next year, but to live it to the fullest right here in the upcoming 2 months. So make good use of your time. I believe that you can do it. I really wish the best for you and have good luck in the next upcoming 2 months. And one reason why we really don't go after the goals that we actually have is because we spend too much time on our stupid devices right here. And if you want to cut back on your screen time to go after your goals, then you can click this video right here where I talk about exactly that. Besides that, have a great year, have a great day, and hopefully see you next time.